Okay. Well, here's a interesting article that came about, guys. This one actually kind of made me laugh
Yeah.
because I mean I don't really know because we've discussed this before and it worked on two levels here for me. So it's an opinion. It came out of Salon. Basically, it says experts slam lost opportunity as disaster film Twister fails to acknowledge climate change.
Uh,
And I'm thinking to myself, and and again, they basically
Yeah.
talk about in this article how, it was a good movie, but there was basically no anything towards why the tornadoes are happening. There was no like emphasis on
uh,
climate change. But I sit here, guys, and it made me think, of this other article. Let me go to it. It says, oh yeah, Aquaman 2 will take on climate change point.
uh,
Yeah. You know,
And it just kind of makes me laugh because before you go on, Luke, and then I sat there and I thought, what do you mean Hollywood has not been warning you about climate change? I mean,
Yeah, I know.
we
right?
have 2012. We have to the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
We
Right.
have Volcano. We have Armageddon. We have the perfect storm. It's like we have been discussing this in Hollywood forever.
Yeah.
Ever.
You know what this feels like? Is that this feels like a sort of reverse Barbie situation. And what by that I mean is that, like, when Barbie came out, a lot of people were talking about, like, oh, the gender roles, oh, it's the leftists, it's like the feminists. They're trying to like destroy the idea of traditional families or whatever, blah blah blah. It was a lot of like the right wing, all this hubbub, and they were all chattering and crazy, and like it meant nothing because the movie was so popular. I think what we're getting is a small sample of this with Twisters, because Twisters has done very, very well. I believe the reviews are not great. I haven't seen it
No,
myself. I
yeah,
suspect
neither
it's
have I.
probably like,
They're
by
okay.
all accounts, it doesn't look like a great movie, but it looks like a fun movie, a bit like a
Right.
disaster movie. So it's kind of that same thing where it's like the more you like complain about, like, well, why did they address climate change, the more like naggy and weird you come off, because it's like
Right.
it's a stupid movie about a tornado.
Yeah.
Like,
About multiple
who cares?
tornadoes.
Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, the thing is that, like, the thing is I'm sure tornadoes have something to do with climate change, but like in general, like, not necessarily. Like, hurricanes have something to do with climate change, but like tornadoes can be very, very random. They can be very like it's very hard to completely peg them down. So the fact that you're just like, well, why is it Twister's talking more about climate? Like, why did you want that? Like, who cares?
Yeah, because half the time I always hear about movies being preachy. Stop doing that because
Right. Yeah.
we addressed this in Happy Feet. God damn it!
Like,
And
why
I
would-
remember someone
why
telling me
would we-
Happy Feet's a liberal piece of shit, and I'm like,
like, yeah, why do we care that like Glenn Powell is just kind of standing there being Glenn Powell? Because, oh, that's another thing. I always love this. There's a lot of discourse about Glenn Powell, about how we're like why are we trying to make Glenn Powell a thing? And I'm like, I didn't even realize he was a thing. Like, what? Why are we talking about, like, he's just, I always just thought he was like the dude who's standing there, like Chris Pratt. He's just supposed to like be the white guy that stands there to
Yeah.
be there.
Here he is. He's the guy.